So again, we're talking about triple bottom line. Here is an interesting scenario that keeps happening, but hopefully it'll spark some ideas on your part.
In the 1950s, the Dayak people of Borneo, an island in Southeast Asia, were suffering from an outbreak of malaria, so they called the World Health Organization for help. The World Health Organization had a ready-made solution, which was to spray copious amounts of DDT around the island. With the application of DDT, the mosquitoes that carried the malaria were knocked down, and so was the malaria. There were some interesting side effects, though. The first was that the roofs of people's houses began to collapse on their heads. Turns out the DDT not only killed off the malaria-carrying mosquitoes, but it also killed a species of parasitic wasp that had controlled a population of thatch-eating caterpillars. Thatch being what the roofs of the Dayak people's homes were made from. Without the wasps, the caterpillars multiplied and flourished and began munching their way through the villagers' roofs. That was just the beginning. The DDT affected a lot of the island's other insects, which were eaten by the resident population of small lizards called geckos. The biological half-life of DDT is around 8 years, so animals like geckos do not metabolize it very fast. It stays in their system for a long time. Over time, the geckos began to accumulate pretty high levels of DDT, and while they tolerated the DDT fairly well, the island's resident cats, which dined on the geckos, did not. The cats ate the geckos, and the DDT contained in the geckos killed the cats. With the cats gone, the island's population of rats came out to play. We all know what happens when rats multiply and flourish. Pretty soon the Dayak people were back on the phone to the World Health Organization, only this time it wasn't malaria that was the problem. It was the plague and the destruction of their grain stores, both of which were caused by the overpopulation of rats. This time, though, the World Health Organization didn't have a ready-made solution and had to invent one. What did they do? They decided to parachute live cats into Borneo. Operation Cat Drop occurred courtesy of the Royal Air Force and eventually stabilized the situation.
What do you think?
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and consider becoming
I just think it's like when there was an aphid problem here, they dropped the Asian ladybugs, and now we have an Asian ladybug problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Australia is really paranoid about this kind of thing. Has anybody flown into Australia recently? I flew there a few years ago, and we had heard about you can't bring things in and you can't take things out. But we got a little worried when we were sitting on the landing pad where we just arrived, and before they would let us come to the terminal, somebody came in with a hand sprayer like DDT and sprayed the entire plane, including the passengers. Okay, let's go. Triple bottom line. Okay, so again, next week's assignment. You can do this in mini groups. So again, you'll be able to include the name of the couple of people that are doing this with you. Again, no more than 3 people. In groups of 2 or 3 students, each select a company or organization that is not a charity and not pure for-profit corporation. Then create one document that compares the organization in terms of most socially beneficial and most profitable. From the lecture material, and again, you'll have to review the stuff that's blended. I'll go through part of one of them today. To understand the scale of this, and I actually have a checkoff list for you. He's given you some ideas here as to what constitutes a successful paper. If you read the organization's webpage to get the required information, that's a barely pass. If you contact customers or users to get their perspective or do something else other than just read one webpage. So again, you'll be citing your references for this. One of the things that you can do is maybe call for information from the company. They should have a 1-800 number, or go to any kind of blogs that you can find. Again, I'm looking for more than one source for your information. And again, that is your assignment for next week, which is why I'm giving you a heads up this week. Okay. You'll see that we have a few blended learning things that you should read, but I am going to play one that I kind of like here.
Everybody ready?
Hi, Alex here. You probably heard about the trip.
Is that group assignment that's due today? Is that what we did Wednesday in class?
Oh, you want to cover that first? Okay.
I just know we have the individual one and the group one. I wasn't sure if they ever did that.
Let's go see what to do. Okay, so we got the individual one, the tech brainstorming. That's it. The other one was a lab, right?
Oh, so that was the one we did Wednesday.
Yeah. So if we look at just so I know you can keep your minds occupied as I play the other stuff. Okay, so what we did in class is I asked you to think about your process or your method for creating a new idea. And that's what you worked on in class, was your step-by-step, something greater than 3 steps of how you would generate a new idea. That wasn't for marks, that was just getting you ready for the assignment, right? So the actual assignment is what you're going to hand in. This is what you're handing in, right? So 1 point for professional appearance. So again, make it look pretty. 3 points for the explanation of the methodology you use. So you generated methodology. So let's say you've got 4 steps. What I'm looking for is some description on how you use that to generate the idea.
So like list all your steps first and then a paragraph underneath.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so this is how I applied this to generate idea A. The next one is So you've explained your methodology, you've explained how you've used it, and then the last thing I want you to do in paragraph format is explain the idea that you came up with. So explain your methodology, or show your methodology or your method. Explain how you used it to generate. So it's kind of a step-by-step. If you want to use point form, that's fine. But I do need some narrative in there to draw me into how you used it. And then if I came up with, I wanted electric candles. Explain to me what that means. Make sense? Any questions on that? And again, you'll have at least half an hour at the end of class to work on that today.
I'm still not exactly clear. I don't know if anyone else can understand about exactly the definition. Like I read it up on your anyway. Is it like could it be about anything like?
In this case, for the assignment, it's something that will benefit our department. Sorry, the important piece here is we talked in class about kind of a neat thing for the radio station. And actually, I went and talked to the NSA. I didn't realize that the radio station we had was run by NSA a few years ago. They've now given it to the radio faculty to run. But the point is that they have a real live place to go and apply their trade. So when they walk in there and they qualify to be able to run that radio station, they can actually use all that equipment just like it would be at CHCH or any place else that runs a radio station. So they get really cool, hands-on reality experience. So one of the things I would be interested in is when you think of an idea for our department, computer and networking, what could we do? What new idea could we do to enhance our program and make student experience better? So that's what it says, an innovative idea for the computer science department. Is that kind of clear enough? So you're looking for something that we could actually do as part of the computer science program that would be new and innovative and make us, for lack of a better term, world renowned. How can we get our competitive advantage? How can we get our 5-year lead on any other college offering computer science? What could we do? So we're looking for an innovative idea, right? So again, you're going to explain the steps we use to generate an idea. You're going to outline how you use that methodology to generate your idea. So for instance, if you sat down and one of the things was, I have my mission, but I've got 3 or 4 ideas, and I don't know which one to pursue. Your methodology, your method should pop out through your evaluation which one you want to pursue. So let's say we wanted to offer the course on submarines, we want to teach it in the air, or we want to have remote desktop teaching. Okay, so when you go through and review those ideas, what steps did you do to flush out which one you want to follow? No, still not?
We would do like an example that no one can use.
I thought I was doing that. Okay, so let's say we want to teach the course in a submarine.
But how is that?
So, I'm going to teach computer science in submarine. It's ridiculous, right? But, so, what's my first step? I think I gave you the first step for your methodology. If you were given a task, how would you generate a new idea? I've given you some parameters. How would you come up with this idea? So step 1 typically is you state what the opportunity or problem is. Right? Step 1. step 2, what are you going to do? I've made a statement. Don't know how accurate it is. Yeah, you're on your way there. What do we talk about in class? What do almost all of you do when you're asked a question? Go to Google. You do research, right? So point 2 of your personal methodology would probably be, let me do some research on the topic so that I have a clearer understanding. Right? So I don't know what a submarine is. Let me go find that out. Oh, it runs underwater. Ooh. So you get it, right? Then your next step is, okay, so I've got some details and facts now. You have to do what you're saying, is give me a list, priority list, like what's important, what do I need to work on. So that's my 3rd step type of thing, right? And then when you follow this methodology, I have a mind map that has all this on it, but I don't want to give it to you because it's actually what the assignment's about. So you have your process for fleshing out a new idea. You document it. Kind of what we did in the last class. Okay. Now explain to me how you applied it in this case, in this scenario, which means you applied it using some parameters of I need something innovative for computer science. I want it to be strategic.
Can you give it a solution first, and how you apply it? The solution would be how to get there.
Yeah, well, that's part of your first definition is what's the definition of success. Now that may change when you do some research, but basically, let's say we're all moving to living underwater and we need a solution underwater.
State problem, define solution, do research, figure out your priorities and obstacles, that's how you apply.
And then present it, right? How you present it. So that's your structure. Now you plug in the parameters that you've been given for this problem, which is what can be innovative for computer science. That's the next one. And then at the end of it, you come up with, oh yes, I'm going to park a submarine in Hamilton Harbor and we'll offer tours to learn computer science. Okay? And here's how we'll do that. And I explain it. That's the last part of the question. Didn't make any more sense. This is a hard assignment. I don't want to take away from it because it's getting you to do stuff differently. It's getting you to do stuff think differently. You can write programs and I tell you specifically what I'm looking for. In this case, I'm not telling you specifically what I'm looking for. You are telling me and explaining to me what you're doing. Okay. So now that you've got that, let me just go through the presentation that I had.
Triple bottom line, a concept that is used a lot when speaking about sustainability, and particularly sustainability in business. John Elkington, a global authority on corporate responsibility and sustainability, coined the phrase in a book in 1997. His argument was that the methods by which companies measure value should include not only a financial bottom line, profit or loss, but a social and environmental one as well. The concept has evolved into one that's often described as 3 overlapping circles. You've probably seen this image before. Sustainability is typically defined as the place where economy, social realities, and environmental health overlap.
Okay, so this is kind of the crux of where we're going. We've been talking about mostly for strategic advantage how we make money. We're in business to make money. What this next section talks about is that making money as we go forward is not as important as endorsing all 3 things. So you will succeed better if you concern yourself with social, environmental, and economic conditions. Can you think of any example in the news in the last week imagine? Everybody knows what they did, right? They programmed their computer, onboard computer, so that if it was being tested for emission control, they would record idyllic numbers, but when you actually drove it, it was polluting like crazy. CEOs had to resign. It's going to cost them. All that's what was 81 billion. It's a phenomenal amount of money to fix it. So they obviously weren't following this, which surprises me because I thought the German companies were more adaptive. But let's just continue with this. But this is the idea that when you're working on your prototype, that when you make a recommendation of something that you want to build, you deal with these three pieces